She's the Boss TV Network's Truth TV series. Guys, listen. We got to talk about it. Spiritually protected people. Because a lot of people don't understand. Some people may not have the earthly power, but they got spiritual power. And if you even hurt them, talk about them behind their backs, it hits you. It may not hit you direct, it'll hit your family direct even. So some people don't understand it. Especially, let's talk about the orphans, the widows, the fatherless children. If you touch them and they cry out to God, it hits you hard. And it is something that you really can't understand until it happens to you. And it's very sad. I mean, imagine attacking someone that you were meant to be with. You have soul connection. You can't really understand it until you come to an awakening, okay? You attack them, and then it hits your family. It takes out your loved ones. I'm just saying to you, it is important. That's why we're supposed to love God with all your heart and mind and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. That's why it's very serious, because you never know who's who. And if you were sent to even just stalk somebody, okay, you're accepting any form of payment against this person that's spiritually protected, oof, it may look glittery and, for a moment, but let me tell you something, you just might have just totally destroyed yourself or someone around you. Be careful how you treat people, because being spiritually protected is a real thing. Give you an example. My kids will talk back to me and I'll just say, I'm going to take your computer away. You know what happens? All of a sudden, their computer goes blank. And it didn't happen just to one of my kids. It happened to a couple of my kids. They were talking back and I'm like, I'm going to take your computer away. All of a sudden, their computer went blank and never worked again. I don't understand it myself. But some people are that protected. If you hurt them, either you're going to die, your loved one's going to die, and it happens within a year or two. It's that serious. Listen, I'm telling you, God is that serious about certain people. And certain people are so connected to God because of the mission. And, some people, I don't know how you feel about past lives, but I actually believe it, because there's memories that I can't explain. And then when I did a look of, my relationships, and the two that I had extreme connections, and it felt like that I knew them but didn't understand quite why, and it was just a familiar, like, spirit. It, because it's like you can't get enough of them. You're just like it's hard to describe, and you can't shake it. You try to shake it, and you just can't. You're like, what the hell? Why can't I shake that? Why can't I just move on? Because you move on, but you can't just really shake it off. Well, I think I figured it out. Okay, so stay with me for a moment. So imagine. Okay, so my last name was Malloy, right? It was O'Malley. Prior to that, it went down to King Nile, right? And we have the whole traces. And then I find out my very first love, guys, his last name was MacNeil. Yeah, that was from Scotland. But we also found out that it came from King Nile as well. So one side went one where, they ended up coming to America. And the other side went on to Scotland and also then came to America. So there's when you start to dissect it, you're like, wow, that's a little bizarre, maybe no coincidence. But, I've heard so many people having past lives. So I don't think, and I have my own experience, my own memories that don't make sense, okay? And so, and then I look at another person that I had that deep connection with, and so my family, came, Roman Empire, and then came into the French monarchy and all that stuff. So I have dissection of the names, my family names, the DNA, been able to take my blue blood DNA and said 78% direct descendants. So, and gave me names. So it's pretty ironic, and I don't think it's a coincidence. But my family gave my second connection that I had that deep. It was like electric. I can't explain it. And my family had a very close tie. In fact, that daughter at the Rothschilds, for example, also was connected. And anyway, we gave them nobility, power, and banking and all that good stuff through, the kings. So, I mean, yes, maybe it's just a coincidence, but it's just those were the two that I could really say, wow, it just felt like very not on the norm, Of course, I'm also O'Brien. So my mother's grandmother is Kathleen O'Brien. She was born in Ireland, and we found that she was directly from the Lords of Ireland, and we found that they married into the British monarchy, and that I'm actually directly related to the British monarchy as well through O'Brien's. And then they did some ancient archaeology testing or whatever, and that we found that we were actually directly related to one of the pharaohs in Egypt, and that pharaoh in Egypt was related to King David. Call it coincidence, but every other child on that family is left-handed. You could not have a kid. It just kept going. And we're talking about generations upon generations left-handed. My mother's left-handed. My grandmother O'Brien was left-handed. Her mother was left-handed. It just goes on and on and on. I mean, her dad was left-handed. It's like really crazy. It's generations, guys. And if you notice anything about the British monarchy, they also are left-handed. So people are like, what? I'm like, yeah. But it's crazy because it wasn't just like one side of my family from royalty. It was several sides. So, that would make me as, I guess, pedigree as they call it. So I'm not any important of another, but it's just how God sets the stage up sometimes, I guess, and he knows us better than we know ourselves. And we all have our time of awakening, and we realize, oh my God. But just imagine you find out that you're one soul mirror, that you mirror one another, that you try to kill them and sacrifice them to some crazy secret society. Or you believe the lies that people are telling you because of people so jealous. I had exes, and they knew I was a great catch, but they destroyed my name, my reputation, just because they didn't want anyone to want me, because they still had their, obsession of wanting me, but didn't want to say it. And yeah, they messed up. Yeah. Anyway, so, be careful how you handle people. I know we said that in the beginning of this segment. Just be very careful, because it can cost you your life. It can cost you your loved ones. It can cause you massive sickness, accidents, and it happens sometimes within a couple months, sometimes 30 days, So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. She's the Boss TV Networks, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and we're going to keep doing videos and being inspirational and having different topics to help other people. So thanks for tuning in. Billion Dollar Girls on TikTok. Have a great day.